haven't done one of these videos in a while, so I'm actually really excited to do this. But this week is a reading vlog. I'm so excited to do this. I've been waiting to read these few books that I said I was going to read back in February, but it never happened because life. So this week, you are gonna come with me as I read The Song of Achilles. I hear it's a tragedy and it's very sad. Let's get into this video, I'm so excited. I love reading vlogs. I enjoy watching people read and I enjoy seeing people's reactions when they're reading. And again, I haven't done one of these in a while, so yeah, let's do this. I'm on my way to school. I've been reading on the bus for about 20 minutes. I'm on chapter 5, I think. Chapter 5 or 6 of Song of Achilles, and it's honestly really good. I'm loving it so much. The main character, it's in his point of view, and it's Patroclus. I am shit with names, honestly, but he is exiled from his kingdom because he accidentally killed a boy. He is sent to a neighboring kingdom where he's like being trained, I guess. He meets Achilles. Honestly, I am living for their interactions. I smell something blooming. I've never been so excited about a book before, and so far, like, it's starting off really great. I'm about to head into my school, so I'll have to talk to you guys later. Do you guys like SpongeBob? No. It was so good. Kids did such a great job today. It was such a good day. I'm going home now, so. Look, I know in the tale, Iliad, that Achilles dies, right? But all I'm saying, look, I know it's inevitable that in the end, either one of them or both of them die, and I'm not ready for it because I'm already so invested. I mean, I'm already on chapter 6, and I'm like incredibly invested in these two characters' relationships and friendships with each other. I don't want them to die. Ugh. Man, why can't the gays ever be happy? Why can't y'all leave them alone? I don't understand. Kind of pissed off with the story because, like, so I get to the part where they're on the ship and they're sailing off to war, and pretty much Odysseus, like, I don't like him. He's like telling this to Achilles. And poor Achilles is like, dude, I just want to like chill back at home with my guy. Can you not? And then find out that Achilles is gonna die, and I'm just not here for it. I don't like Odysseus. Okay, so I got to the part where they just landed back to Achilles' home and he's preparing to go to battle. He's not gonna tell his dad about the whole prophecy of him dying in Troy. So one of the things that I love about Achilles is that how he's just a precious cinnamon roll. He like doesn't want to fight anybody. He just wants to stay home. He just wants to be with Patroclus. So in the prophecy it says something about how like he kills Hector, he will die. Patroclus is like, you can't kill Hector. Promise me you can't. And then Achilles is like, well, did he ever do anything wrong to me? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, then I'm not going to kill him. Like, I won't kill anyone that doesn't have any, doesn't do anything to me. So I'm just like, freaking Odysseus, man. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. I'm done with school, finally. The classes were great. I had 4 classes today, which wasn't that bad. It was like 3.5 hours. I'm on my way home, and while I'm on the bus, I'll continue reading. I feel like I'll be done with it by tomorrow.
A few moments later.
So apparently it kind of helps if you know what bus you're getting on, like you're reading where you're supposed to be getting on, because I got on the wrong bus to a whole different town that was going the opposite way. This is me walking my ass back to the Dokchan station. Shit, did I go the wrong way? You know what? This is me exploring Dokchan while I figure my shit out. It's 9 o'clock and I want chapter 30. I don't like where this is going because it means the book is almost done and what I'm reading is just not going to be good. Like, if you've read the Iliad, you guys know where this is going. I've read the Iliad and I know where this is going and I'm just devastated at the moment. So, to catch everybody up, where do I even begin? Achilles and Patroclus save Briseis. And Briseis becomes like really good friends with them, but she forms like a deeper bond with Patroclus, and they're in Troy for like 10 years already, and like everyone's getting restless. But like because of this prophecy, Achilles said he will not kill Hector, because if Hector dies, then Achilles dies. Obviously Patroclus doesn't want Achilles dead, so he's like doing everything he can to make sure like Hector doesn't die. Again, Hector dies, Achilles dies. They're in there in Troy for like 10 years, and everyone's getting restless, and Achilles is like the only one who's able to calm them down because King Adamamnon or whatever, you know, fuck what his name is. He's a dickhead of a king. He like dishonored Achilles, and then Achilles is like, fine, you're gonna be an asshole to me, I'm not gonna fight for you. And so because of that, at the moment, he was just like, you're not gonna fight for me? Fine, I strip you of all like your honor, dignity, and like your riches. And part of the riches is Briseis, because Briseis was one of the spoils of war. She was kidnapped, and in order to save her from becoming like a slave and, you know, raped by the king, Achilles claimed her as a prize. But because he's like not interested, she's safe. At a moment, because he stripped Achilles of like all the treasures that included her, so he like took her back. Patroclus was able to intervene, and he was like, listen, what will it take for you to let go of Briseis? And he's like, Achilles' apology, until then I won't touch her, blah, blah, blah. So because of this, Achilles is like, you're gonna do this to me? I'm not gonna fight for you. And see how the Greeks do when the Trojans come in to like barrel down our wimpy wall, and Achilles still refuses to fight because there was no apology made from King Asshole, which is understandable. He's a dick. Patroclus is like out here watching all of his friends and all of these men dying because things happen, you know, because of war, right? And so he comes back to beg Achilles, and he's like, please, you gotta save him, you gotta save him. And Achilles is like, not until I get an apology, so no. And so Patroclus is like, what if I went in your stead? And like, I won't fight, I'll just pretend to be you and just give morale to the men to push back the Trojans. And after much persuasion, Achilles is like, fine, but you can't fight. And so like Achilles like bids him farewell, and now Patroclus is like in the thick of it, and he's like throwing spears left and right, and he's like nailing it, right? And so because of that, everyone's like, they begin to rally, and then the Trojans are like running back to their little home, and that is where I am, and I don't like where this is going.
A few moments later.
I have come back from drowning my sorrows in the shower and watching all my joy go down the drain because this book is ending me. I've never been so sad. I'm more sad about this book than I was with A Little Life, and A Little Life was fucking depressing, but this book... Anyways, I refuse to turn the big light on because I don't want you to see what a wreck I am. The quality of this video, again, is just fantastic. I'm gonna finish this book, and in the end, I may have to change my sweatshirt because I've got snot all over. That's what happened with the last one. But we're gonna do this. Why do I do this to myself? One of our characters is gone, and Achilles, he's fucking pissed. And so right now, he's going out to kill Hector. And honestly, Hector, my man, you don't stand a chance at this point because Achilles is just seeing red at the moment. I don't know why I'm getting emotional right now, but like, he's going out, and I know how this is gonna end. Shit. So Achilles just fought with Scamander, one of like the gods, because the gods was like trying to protect Hector, and Hector's being a little bitch right now and he's running away. After Achilles like strikes down Scamander, he like turns to Hector and he's like,
get your ass out here, I'm gonna kick it.
And Hector's literally like, when he realizes he can't run away, he's like,
grant me this, give me my body to my family when you kill me.
And frickin' Achilles, I just got chills. He says, there are no bargains between lions and men. I will kill you and eat you raw. This man is like heart fucking broken. At this point, I think it's like day 2 or day 3 after Patroclus died, and like he still hasn't been burned or buried, and Achilles is like falling apart, which I don't blame him, but at the same time, like I no longer see the humanity in him. I honestly see like the Greek god in him. And hear me out. So before Patroclus died, Achilles had this like very gentle human side to him, obviously because he's human. The moment Patroclus is gone and the Greek god took over him. And what I mean is, like, if you read the Greek mythology, pretty much the majority of the gods and goddesses are like assholes and have no warmth or empathy for humans. Achilles, after he killed Hector, he still hasn't given the body back. He's literally dragging Hector's body around. And Achilles still hasn't burned or buried Patroclus. He and his mom are going at the moment, but like I seen, like, honestly, the humanity left when Patroclus died. Like, Achilles needs a hug. I finished this book. I'm so sad. Like, not at me for crying over fictional characters, but like, I know this was gonna happen. I'm laughing to, like, because I'm in pain, and I've never felt so emotionally attached to characters before. Here I am. Like, I knew this was gonna happen. Oh my god, okay. I am fine. I'm just in my feelings at the moment, and I truly love these characters, and I freaking love Briseis and Patroclus and Achilles, and the ending just had me. And I said I wouldn't cry, but like I cried, and I'm gonna end this here because I can't do feelings anymore. I can't. Feelings in me, we don't do that. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow when I'm not emotionally all over the place. Good night. When I tell you I like spent an hour trying to do this fucking review of this book. I'm not kidding. So I'm up here on the rooftop because I'm losing sunlight in my home. It's colder than a troll's ass up here though. So yeah, and I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible so I can go back inside. This is take 2 of me trying to give an actual review of Song of Achilles. I had like a whole thing going about how it's like, I pour myself some tea to drown my sorrows, but like, yeah, that I had to scratch that because the video was such garbage. Here we go, Song of Achilles. I had finished it last night and it left me completely wrecked in a good way. Finally giving you guys my final thoughts and reviews on it. So I would give this book 5 stars because this was so good. This was, when I tell you, it's been such a long time since I've actually read a good book. I mean, when I was on chapter 3, I was so excited. I was like,
Gosh, this is actually so good.
so, what is the Song of Achilles about? It takes place in Greece, and it is about Hercules and Achilles and their relationship from boyhood to manhood and their time in Troy when they are fighting against the Trojans. This is based off the characters from the Iliad, and for those who don't know, the Iliad is a kind of like a ballad or like a poetic story about the fall of Troy. All the characters in the Iliad, they all make appearances in the Song of Achilles, which is fantastic. And for those who haven't read Iliad, I highly recommend you go read it because it's like one of the greatest works of art out there. Like, Homer knows how to spin a tale, let me tell you. The Song of Achilles is written in Patroclus's point of view, and we start out seeing him being like this weak disappointment to his father, and he ends up getting exiled, and Achilles' father takes him in. Then Achilles and Patroclus meet, and then they become friends, and they become best friends, and they become companions, and it's just great. And then we get to see Achilles fulfilling his prophecy, and then like shit going on south real quick. That's kind of like the summary of the story. One of the things that I love the most about the Song of Achilles is the relationship between Achilles and Patroclus. We get to see these 2 young kids just bond over the smallest things, and the way like Patroclus views Achilles. Like, he is in awe of Achilles, and he just loves him. And then we get to see them becoming young men and falling in love. I like that. I liked it. And the way it was written wasn't in a cringy way. It wasn't in like Oh, they fell in love. No, it was like in the most poetic, subtle way, and I really appreciated that. Now, for people who come at me and at Madeline Miller for being like, Patroclus and Achilles weren't lovers or companions, they were just best friends. If you actually read the Iliad, you would know that they were more than just best friends. Even in depictions in like art and on pottery and statues, like you can see that Achilles and Patroclus weren't just BFFs. So historians would say otherwise, haters will say another thing, but they can go fuck off. One thing I absolutely adored about this book is the style of writing. She wrote it in a very poetic, romantic-like way. The way Madeline Miller writes, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It had me crying over like the simplest of phrases. Like, tell me why I was sobbing when I read, "In the darkness, two shadows reaching through the hopeless heavy dusk, their hands meet and light spills in a flood, like 100 golden urns pouring out the sun." I was on the floor sobbing. It's really beautiful. Like, I honestly thought that was a very beautiful line. One of my favorites is, "I could recognize him by touch alone, by smell. I would know him blind by the way his breaths came and his feet struck the earth. I would know him in death at the end of the world." I don't know about you guys, but like, goosebumps. The way she wrote how like Patroclus saw Achilles. There was a scene, like I mentioned before, when Achilles was taking revenge on Patroclus and like Hector was running away like a little bitch that he is. Achilles legit just like screams out. He's like, "Hector, you're mine. I'm going to come after you." And then Hector's like, "Listen, bro, we can talk this out." And then like he literally goes, "There are no bargains between lion and men. I will kill you and eat you raw." Humanity has left the chat room and Achilles is seeing red. Another thing that I really loved about this book was the way that Achilles and Patroclus, they were written to suit each other so well. So like Achilles is like the golden boy, obviously, because like his hair was gold and everything. But he was this demigod who was promised fame and fortune, and like all men will remember his name. He'll be like the best fighter in Greek and all men will tremble at him, like all these promises and stuff. And so he was more like the bronze, and then we had like the brains of the group, but it was more than just bronze and brain. Patroclus was like that steady, conscious reminder of humanity to Achilles, because Achilles represented the god, right? Because he's part god. So when Patroclus was in like with him, Achilles was more human. And you can see that by, for example, like I mentioned before, when Patroclus died, Achilles no longer had this human nature about him. He was very violent and like he just became like the cruel Greek gods that had no empathy. And it's even before that too, like in the story you can see that Achilles became less of a human the more he surrounded himself around the glory of war. They were in Troy for 10 years, and even like Patroclus mentioned, like the more Achilles stayed, the less I knew him. Whenever we see Patroclus, that was like the steady reminder of being human and like that, just being very grounded. Like he was there to ground Achilles and be like, "No, you're man, you're more than just a god." What's interesting in the Iliad, there is this line where Homer mentions that the gods are cruel and they are jealous of men because gods are infinite and they don't have that beautiful feeling that men do. Because they perish easily, because they are mortals, they learn and they know how to cherish a moment. They know how to cherish that person, just know how to infinitely live in that moment before they die. Can we just talk about how much I fucking hated King Agamemnon? Like, he was an asshole. Even in the Iliad, like, he pissed me off. He literally used Helen of Troy as an excuse to go to war. I was also so annoyed with Odysseus. This sneaky, sly son of a bastard. But the way he treated Achilles. And throughout the story, like, Achilles is very adamant about certain decisions. And he's like, "I'm not gonna do this, I'm going to do this." And Odysseus somehow was always there to, like, try to change Achilles' mind. Or, like, the way Odysseus absolutely gave no shit about him or anything. Honestly, I think that was pretty much it of like my review for the book. I loved it so much. I really enjoyed it. I mean, take the romance from it all. I really enjoyed reading just the relationship and the friendship that these two characters have for each other. I'm giving this book a 5 stars, and I don't give it lightly. I usually don't rate highly of stories, but this one, if you can successfully make me feel all those emotions that I felt, then you did something right. And I look forward to reading her other works. I think she was a fantastic author. And on that note, I'm gonna end with one of my favorite quotes, the first quote that made me cry. We were like gods at the dawning of the world. Our joy was so bright we could see nothing else but the other.
If that isn't poetic, I don't know what is.
Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Hug a llama, be kind to yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.